What does the average job entail in terms of interacting with the people of Weymouth? It really varies. I mean, as I just described before, getting that input from people on issues, number one, so that, you know, hopefully I reflect what the values are of the people I represent in my votes. That's number one. Number two, you know, we do serve, the office does serve as an ombudsman of sorts for people in our district that have various problems that relate to state government or even beyond state government. I was talking to a guy today whose father passed away, and the mother is having trouble collecting from a big insurance company the money that is due to her, and he asked if we could, you know, help. So, you know, we'll get involved and call the insurance company, try and put a nudge on that way. Oftentimes, for instance, in that case, the insurance company will actually have, you know, a lobbyist that works in Massachusetts. The lobbyist is not going to want to see a legislator upset with that company because there's legislation that will come through here. So we have a little leverage that hopefully can be used to help that person get the money that's due them from the insurance company. Oftentimes, it's involvement with a state agency of some sort that, you know, is impacting residents. You know, we're talking right now in Weymouth about bus lines. The MBTA is talking about change of bus lines. We're dealing with that. We're dealing with some Greenbush abutter issues, promises that were made by the MBTA to abutters that haven't been fulfilled, things like that. So every day it's something different for someone that calls in with a particular problem or issue. Well, in my spare time, it's funny, most of my interests are kind of warm weather related, so this is a lousy time of year. I'm not a skier. Obviously focus more significantly on work this time of year anyway. But in my spare time, I'm an avid cyclist, for one thing. Love to get on two wheels on my bicycle, both you know, mountain biking and road bike, cover a lot of mileage. And by the way, it's a great way to see the conditions of the roads on the South Shore, and it's a great way to encounter and talk with and meet constituents. It's probably pretty frequent if I'm out in the summer for a bike ride, I run into people and certainly get, you know, input from constituents, and usually evolves into a long ride because there's a lot of talking along the way when I'm bumping into people. Love to spend time outdoors. This time of year I'll do a lot of hiking if it's too cold to get on a bike. Avid motorcyclist. I think I'm the only member of the legislature that commutes in the summer to the State House by Harley Davidson or any other form of motorcycle. So I'm a pretty avid Harley rider. That's been something that was in my blood since I was younger, riding a dirt bike a little bit, and always enjoyed that and kind of resurrected that pastime a few years back. And probably my number one passion is softball. People like to joke that my political base comes from the many softball leagues that I play in, and it's really great. I play in Weymouth League, a South Shore League. I'm up in Quincy a lot. There's an old men's league, as I like to call it, or the guys like to call it, an old men's league, which is over 35 age group over in Hingham. There's some teams from Weymouth in that league, and it's kind of interesting because a lot of these guys you've been playing against or with for decades now. There's a big rivalry of some guys from another team from Weymouth that we've had now going on 20 years. And it's kind of fun that you keep that bond going and that continuation going. And it's kind of funny, too, because I also play in Hull, which is obviously part of my district. And, you know, that's the one place I go when I get my mind off work. And there was a guy we were trying to help with a housing issue that happened to live across the street from the field. And he'd see me and come over and want to talk to me. And you know, when I'm in between innings, I'm on the bench talking, it's no problem. But the guy would literally try to talk to me about his housing issue when I was on deck, waiting my turn at bat. Finally, I said, look, I don't mind talking in between innings, before the game, after the game. The one place I just want to focus for a minute is when I'm on deck and I'm about to bat next. Can we delay this conversation a little bit? So that's kind of funny. It does keep you in touch. There are literally, now I know you're going to think this is an exaggeration, but especially Hull, there are literally people that will come down to the field when they know I'm playing to talk politics with me. It's interesting. It really is. I enjoy it. It's not that much of a distraction, but my big passion is playing softball. And I love baseball, you know, watching the Red Sox, that kind of thing, too. But everything seems to converge in the summer months, which is good. You know, things slow down here. July's a big, busy month for us, but it slows down in August. we have our peak times and our slow times, so it works out pretty good that way. I came into this office 2 years ago. This had been occupied by the Senate gentleman that is now the Senate Minority Leader. Was in here. He moved into the Minority Leader's office, which is quite palatial, actually pretty close to the Senate chamber. I had been up on the 4th floor, which we had a nice spot up there, but I was one of the last senators to only have 2 rooms in his office. And I actually didn't want to leave up there, but my staff needed more room. I didn't care about my inner office. But I'm glad we came down here. This is a great spot. I shouldn't advertise that fact, because then a Democrat might want to steal this office from me, as they're prone to do, because they have that ability. But this is a great office in terms of its location. I'm right off the elevator. You come up from the Bowdoin Street entrance. I'm close to run across the street if I need to get a sandwich. And I'm also close to the Senate chamber, which makes it convenient if I need to slip out for a phone call or something. So it's great. Very happy with this office. It's probably the most enjoyable physical office I've been in since I've been in the legislature. And I think I've been in probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I've been in about 5 locations up here.
Well,
Where some of the staff works, and as you can see, they're actually all busy on the phone right now. Chief of Staff Ted Langell, who is a Hingham native that resides in Braintree. We got Joey Rossi over there in the corner, who is actually an intern that's spending some time with us from the town of Marshfield. Where do you go to school again, Joe?
Wentworth.
He's at Wentworth, one of my alma maters. And the gentleman over here is my legislative director, Pat O'Connor. And Weymouth residents might know Pat, since he is serving as a town councilor at large and also chairs the Public Safety Committee for the Weymouth Town Council. And obviously a Weymouth native. And this is the main entrance to the office, and this is my communications director, Rick Collins, who lives in Quincy and might be well known to many people in my district. He had done some work for the Mariner newspaper chain, Weymouth News publication, sister publications, and the Patriot Ledger. And Rob Buttman, who is a native of Cohasset, over my right shoulder. Rob handles a lot of constituent casework for us, and again is a Cohasset native. He's wearing a very beautiful tie today, I might add. Probably the funniest anecdote about office space was when Bill Bulger was Senate President. Everybody knows about Bill Bulger's reputation, and he had just put down an uprising of 5 Democrats who tried to topple him. And I found myself on the 5th floor, surrounded by the 5 dissident Democrats that had tried to overturn Bill Bulger as Senate President. So one day I was talking to the Senate President, Bill Bulger, and he said, "How are things?" And I said, "Well, things are good. I've been on my best behavior, Mr. President, but I'm having a hard time given the fact that I'm up on the 5th floor with the dissidents and the malcontents." And he said, "Oh, no, I put you up there with them so you could rehabilitate them." But yeah, the 5th floor is not a place to be. I'm down here on the 3rd floor. I like it. I'm happy. My staff's happy here.